Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our webinar Best Practices in Keeping Your Proprietary Information Secure when Filing with European Agencies. I'm proud to introduce our expert speaker today, Melissa Sayers. Melissa is Registrar Corp's drug team manager with over 10 years specializing in SPL format eCTD submissions across US FDA, Health Canada, and multiple European-based agencies. Throughout this webinar, please feel free to ask any question in the Q&A box on top, and we will save some time to answer them at the end of the presentation. We will also follow up with a link to the recording so that you can refer back to this at
Thank you, Beatrice, for that introduction. In today's webinar, we will go over what are master files, which European regulatory agencies use them, what type of documents are usually included. Although fees are not too common with these sorts of submissions, we will advise when they do occur. We will give an overview of how the submission process works. And, oops. We'll also talk about the Electronic Common Technical Document. It is a complex format that we will touch upon briefly in today's session. Registrar Corp is industry's leader in assisting companies with compliance for various regulated products. We will share at the end how we can assist with the Q&A at the end. I will start off by going over the basics of what master files are and how they can keep your confidential information, well, confidential. A master file is a voluntary filing to an agency in support of an application being reviewed by that agency for approval. So say, for example, you manufacture an active pharmaceutical ingredient or an active substance, and you have a customer that uses that active substance for a new drug product for which they are submitting a marketing authorization to an agency. The regulatory agency will want to know all about the active substance used in their finished products, such as who makes it, where is it made, how is it made, etc. However, you don't want to provide all your trade secret information to your customer for this application. This is where the master file comes in. You may file a master file about your product to the regulatory agency. Your customer can then request to reference the master file in support of their application. The regulatory agency can then see all the information they need from the master file without it ever being shared to your customer. Master files are voluntary. They are not required. They are not approved or disapproved. Instead, the application that references the master file gets approved or disapproved by the regulatory agency. Globally speaking, depending on the agency, master files are used in different types of industries, such as biologics, drug, food, medical device, and tobacco. So now that you have an idea of how master files are used, we will cover who's who in the master file world. The company that submits to the master file is called the master file holder, and the company that is the customer who is referencing the master file in their application is called the authorized party. Here we highlight the various regulatory agencies across Europe that accept master file filings. Each agency has its own requirements and processes, which can vary significantly from one to another. European Medicines Agency, EMA, Heads of Medicine Agencies, HMA, Swissmedic, and United Kingdom's Medicine and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency all have their own gateway systems. For For HMA, that gateway services more than 40 agencies in one portal. This is where our expertise comes in to help facilitate that process when you want to file with multiple agencies in Europe. Understanding the types of master files is crucial for compliance in the pharmaceutical industry. The Active Substance Master File, ASMF, is essential for detailing the manufacturing process and quality control of active ingredients to be referenced in marketing authorization applications, MAAs, or marketing authorization variation of a medical product, the MAVs. It helps the active substance manufacturer to keep its information confidential while allowing the applicant holder to take full responsibility of the drug product. On the other hand, the certification of suitability to the monographs of the European Pharmacopoeia, the CEP, is a vital document that confirms the quality of substance in accordance with European standards. This certification is particularly important for companies looking to market their products in Europe. So, what type of documents are usually included in a master file? Typically, there's a cover letter that serves as an introduction to your submission where you include what kind of submission you are submitting, such as an original submission or an amendment. Some type of application form may be included. If you have a customer who would like to reference your master file, a letter of authorization or a letter of access is required. Typically, there is a statement of commitment confirming that the master file is current and accurate. Basic contact information for the master file holder and agent, if applicable, are provided. Typically, the company name, address, contact person for that location, and the contact person's email address and phone number are also included. If an agent will be appointed, then some form of agent appointment letter confirming that the holder is designating that agent for the master file is required. The administrative documents we just described typically have a template from the agency so that you do not have to prepare the entire document on your own. For the quality information in the master file, there are usually a table of contents to help the reviewer navigate through the submission. General information about the product, including the manufacturing details, should also be provided. Please note that each agency will have its own set of requirements. European agencies require that the master file be divided into restricted and applicant parts. The confidential information should only be included in the restricted part, which is viewed only by the regulatory agency. The applicant's part contains information that is non-confidential and may be viewed by the applicant referencing the master file. For some agencies, such as EMA, the applicant's part must be provided to the applicant for their submissions. When submitting to certain agencies, it may be crucial to communicate with the applicant holder to ensure all requirements are met. When filing with European agencies, you must have a customer with an application that will reference your product in order to submit the master file. One of the questions we get asked a lot, are there fees to file a master file? In most cases, no. When filing an active substance master file, there are no fees to date when filing with a regulatory agency in Europe. However, when filing a CEP with the European Directorate for the Quality of Medicines and Healthcare, there are fees when filing. Fees are required to be paid in euros. For new applications, renewals, and revisions, the EDQM will require payment when an invoice upon receipt after the application has been submitted. Fees can range between 5,000 to 9,000 euros for a new application. Revisions can range from 1,000 to 3,000 euros, and the renewal fee is at about 1,500 euros. Electronic Common Technical Document is compiled in expensive software that is submitted to an agency commonly through a submission portal, as we named earlier in the webinar, that sometimes may require the installation of additional software or filing in order for the application to go through. So There are some technical components to it, and that's where we come in to be able to manage all those different gateways and all the specific requirements. So what is the most common submission format? That would be eCTD. So why is eCTD so popular if it's compiled in expensive software? One reason that eCTD is so popular is that it organizes the information in the master file under standardized, internationally recognized headers. So in the example we have, okay, here's the example. General information about your product would be divided up under the nomenclature, structure, and general properties headers. These CTD headers are also used in the applications being approved by the agency. So both the application and master files are organized in the same way. Another reason is that it's easier and faster for a reviewer to look through an electronic submission. eCTD submissions have PDF files with bookmarks and hyperlinks that make finding certain information so much easier than looking through hundreds, if not thousands of pages of paper documents submitted through a long timeline. Another benefit is that the agency receives the submissions faster. If you mail something to an agency, you have to wait for it to be delivered by mail, and in most cases, the only confirmation you have that the agency received the submission is your own tracking information. But with eCTD and other electronic submission types, you receive documentation that the agency has received your submission, typically within 24 hours. Most agencies require that the submission be done in eCTD format and are phasing out paper submissions because the review is so much faster with eCTD. Many agencies accept eCTD submission through electronic submission portals. So agencies under the Heads of Medicines Agencies Network can receive master files through the Common European Submission Portal. EMA submissions utilizes a Simplicity web client, so a separate software, to accept submissions. UK's MHRA submissions have their own gateway, and Swissmedic accepts e-submissions through their eGov portal. It is important to be aware of each agency's submission requirements when planning to submit your master files. So once you have a master file, what do you need to do to keep it active? It is important that the master file is kept up to date. When new customers want to reference your master file, letters of authorizations or letters of access should be submitted for each new authorized party. If the contact person changes, the agent changes, or holder name changes, for example, an administrative amendment should be submitted to update the administrative information in the master file. If the quality information in the master file changes, such as updates to the manufacturing process or an addition of a new product, a quality amendment should be submitted to update the quality information. The agency may request additional information at any time. Typically, these requests are for information needed in support of the application referencing the master file. The agency will send a letter with questions to be addressed. It is important to respond to all inquiries in a timely manner. Now that we have covered the basics of master files, let's discuss the many solutions Registrar Corp has to offer. Master files are a great way to keep your company's information confidential in application filings with your customers. Registrar Corp has additional solutions to help support you in this endeavor. Let's learn about them. Our experts specialize in ensuring that your submissions are in the required format, which reduces delays in filing with the agency. With our expertise, we have learned through experience the different types of challenges that occur at the administrative level that cause delays in the filing process. Without this expertise, delays can occur that can put your customer's application on hold for approval until resolved. Our experts are available to speak with directly, assisting you with filing with various regulatory agencies around the world. Our top priority is when you choose to work with us is keeping your data secure and, as it should be, confidential. How does Registrar keep your data secure? we are elated to share that Registrar Corp is the only ISO 271 certified compliance company. This information security management standard is recognized at a global level for information security management systems. Companies can state they follow the standard. Registrar Corp is certified providing it follows and has systems that in place to continuously monitor ensuring we keep this certification. The systems put into place protect our clients' data, including trade secrets, formulations, manufacturing processes, submission data, and so much more. We have a site that shares how we secure our systems. We make this transparent so you know when choosing Registrar Corp to handle your highly sensitive data, we take protecting it seriously. Registrar Corp can act in two capacities. We can act as your agent, where we only assist with compiling your submissions for submission to the regulatory agency, but we can assist with relaying communications from an agency to you. Otherwise, for all agencies, and mainly for European agencies, we can act as a transaction partner, where we only assist with the compilation of the submission and we do not handle the communications with an agency. When filing, we can assist you with compiling a new submission or convert an existing filing into eCTD format to make it easier for your customer's application review process when they reference your master file. Once your master file is filed, we are here to help you with further complications, compilations to keep it active from deficiency letter responses, amendments, annual reports that other agencies require, or authorizing access to your master files for additional applications for your customers. Or if you have previously filed a master file and require assistance with obtaining files with the US FDA, we do have the ability to request a FOIA, Freedom of Information request on your behalf to retrieve those files. Our services are limited to administrative review, where we ensure that the format of the submission meets the agency's requirements. You are responsible for the content to be filled, but we take a lot of the legwork and the tedious parts with compiling the information together for submission to the agency. We have a secure portal for our customers to easily access their submission files. You do not need to create your own system to maintain submission files. You can easily download your submission data that has been filed with a regulatory agency. This system is amazing for when people change at your company. With the proper confirmation, authorization can be granted to your colleagues at your company. You do not need to worry about looking for files from a previous colleague or figuring out how to reach out to an agency to request a copy of files, which in some cases costs money, and very rarely do you receive a prompt response from a regulatory agency. Beatrice, would you like to share more about more things about Registrar Corp? I think Beatrice is having some technical issues today, and that's okay. I'll be happy to share. So for those of you who may be unfamiliar with Registrar Corp, we are a firm that specializes in global regulatory compliance with over 30,000 clients across 175 countries. We have 20 offices worldwide to assist our clients in their time zones and languages. We are very proud to have a high level of satisfaction from our customers in over 20 years of service to companies in the food, supplement, cosmetic, drug, and device industries. Our label review team of experienced professionals hold multiple advanced degrees in the areas of biology, chemistry, quality management, botany, human nutrition, pharmaceutical sciences, and cosmetic sciences. We have reviewed over 13,000 products for compliance and take enormous pride in ensuring that our clients meet US FDA and other regulatory global agencies. We encourage you to reach out to us if you need any assistance with regulatory compliance. Our headquarters is based in Hampton, Virginia, in the United States, but we also have 20 offices worldwide, including the Europe office where Beatrice is from, to assist you in your time zone and language. We have a few moments to answer questions you may have. Feel free to enter your questions into the questions box, and we'll take a few minutes to answer your questions. So I have one question here. Is the same process for the DMF type 5? So DMF type 5 usually is referring to the United States FDA's. They have multiple types. That's usually the site reference, master file, or other special types. For them, for the FDA, they can file an eCTD. They've been putting out more guidances on that, so we can definitely provide you more information for that process. But not for the European agencies. Right now, the only master files there are for the active substances. We have not seen any other master file with all the research with the agencies referencing any other type. For excipients, that's another question. I have not seen any other master file system for excipients, inactives. Another common type is like flavors. I mean, like the US FDA has many different types that you can file more broadly for master files, but the European is mostly active substances. So I have a question here. Do you file a DMF for excipients for an ANDA? So an ANDA would be an abbreviated new drug application, which is for filing with the United States FDA. And for the United States FDA, they do have a type to file for excipients. And you can have that reference in an ANDA. Excipients may be referenced if needed. And we certainly do provide assistance with that. That's a very good one. So here's a question about atypical APIs, excipient used as an API, as a CEP or DMF. So atypical, that's a term that's not recognized like for the United States FDA, but it's definitely widely used and worldwide recognized. And that's something you could definitely do more research into, especially for the CEP process. If it's a substance that's part of the European Pharmacopoeia, you absolutely could file a active substance master file for the EDQM. So those kind of questions, whatever your product is, we have a questionnaire where you can provide your information that, what's your product, what agency are you looking to file, have you filed before, and we review that and determine, how we can assist or, what the possible pathways are in that respect. So I would highly recommend reach out to us, fill out the questionnaire, we can review that more thoroughly to answer that question. Any last minute questions? I really appreciate all your time today. Hi, so in general for the type 5 with the US FDA, Because it is a special type, many times you have to file a request to the FDA to be able to file it, and that's a process we do certainly assist with. So, reach out to our office, let us know what you'd like to file, and we can look into in that respect. But we do help with type 5 submissions. You're welcome. I have like 1 more minute. Any last minute questions? Okay. Well, I thank everyone for joining us in today's webinar. If you have any follow-up questions, feel free to contact us. Here's our information, and we appreciate y'all joining us today. Thank you and have a wonderful day.